Welcome back. It's so good to finally be able to say those words to you today. We're thankful to have you here back on campus and also watching us virtually at home. You know, it feels so long ago last March when we first moved to distance learning. Since then, so much has happened both in the world around us and even here at home. We were finally able to hold graduation in person and to send the class of 2020 off to college and the world beyond our walls. Many of you, along with Randolph alums, spoke up for justice in our community and the need for us all to respond to the inequities that exist all around us. Our athletics program led the way this summer by showing us that it was possible to dive into workouts and resume team practices with safe protocols that were in place to make sure that we all remain healthy. And hopefully, you were able to find some time to rest and relax this summer. During this summer, your teachers have been putting forth an amazing amount of time and energy into making sure that you have the best possible learning experience this upcoming year. It's no easy feat, but here at Randolph, it doesn't matter if you're with us on campus or if you're home learning virtually. You will be challenged and nurtured, both academically and in your own personal growth. As you see, even though we find ourselves in this hybrid environment, we are as dedicated as always to making sure that your time in school is as normal as possible. We will still be having community times, advisory, and so many of the other elements of life in the upper school that makes Randolph such a special place to be. Our student support team of Nurse Deb, Counselor Ms. Sheeler, and now Coach Morris, in his new role as Dean of Student Culture, are all here to support you along your journey, as well as your teachers and your advisors. As we begin this year, we are a community that remains as dedicated as ever to continuing to seek truth, to build character, and to nurture all. I would like to share with you, if you will, an allegory that I shared with our faculty on one of our first days back together on campus. High in the Himalayan mountains, there lived this wise old man. Every now and then, he would venture into the local village, and he would entertain the villagers with his special ability and knowledge to be able to psychically tell the villagers the contents that might be in their pocket, the boxes they were carrying, or even what they were thinking in their minds. A few young boys from the village one day decided to play a joke on the wise old man and discredit his special abilities. One of these boys came up with the idea. He was going to capture a bird. He was going to hide it in his hands. He knew, of course, the wise old man would know the object in his hands was a bird. The boy devised a plan. Knowing that the wise old man would correctly state the object, that it was a bird, the boy would ask the old man, "Is this bird alive or is it dead?" And if the wise old man said the bird was alive, the boy was going to crush the bird in his hands, so that when he opened up his hands, the bird would be dead. But if the wise man said the bird was dead, then the boy would open his hands and he would let the bird fly free, so that no matter what the old man said, the boy would prove the old man a fraud. The following week, the wise old man, he came down from the mountain into the village. The boy, seeing the old man, quickly caught a bird and he cupped it out of sight in his hands, and he walked up to the old man and he asked, old man, what is this that I have in my hands?" And the wise old man said, "You have a bird, my son." He was right. But then the boy asked, old man, tell me, is this bird alive or is it dead?" And the wise old man looked at the boy. He thought for a moment, and he said, "It is as you choose it to be." This school year, in many ways, will be that bird. And as student leaders, which all of you are in this school, it truly will be in your hands. It will be in your hands to make it as you choose it to be. Each day you will have a choice. You have a choice to fully engage in lessons and classroom discussions, some in person and some virtually. But you also have a choice to take serious wearing a mask, staying socially distanced, and even washing your hands, so that we all have the opportunity to enjoy those things that we missed so much this past spring. You know, as we've gotten ready to return to school, I've had several who are not a part of the Randolph family ask me, they've asked me if I really expect you, our students, just teenagers, as they say, to wear masks and do those things every day. My confident response to all of them has remained the same. I fully believe in you, and I believe in your dedication to do everything right in your power to make sure that we continue to meet in person. That one day, sooner than later, we will be able to return to fully in-person learning, to sing along with Suddenly Seymour with the cast and crew of Little Shop and Horrors, to rush to the court after Curtis drains another half-court shot that gives money back to our community, to dance long into the evening at prom, and to gather as the class of 2021 walks across that graduation stage one at a time in the culmination of their Randolph journey. No one has greater incentive to wear a mask. No one has greater incentive to keep a distance, and no one has greater incentive to wash their hands than you do that I speak to today. One of my absolute favorite things in all the world is to go to concerts and experience live music with others in the crowd. The pandemic that we find ourselves in has silenced so many of those great music venues and artists that I love to visit. And although many artists have found ways to reach their fans through live streaming and other means, nothing will replace the energy, not just hearing, but feeling music, along with thousands of others in a chorus, a community gathered together for a moment. If there was anything I could do to bring that back as soon as possible, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it today. So you have that opportunity, because as we return and every day going forward, you will have those choices. You will have that opportunity to help ensure that we return not just to this new level 3 hybrid environment, but to full in-person teaching and learning, in-person advisory, in-person community times, in-person musicals, and fully in-person athletic contests, to lunches in the lunchroom, right? And we can do this, and we can do this well, and we can have fun all the way along. This year, it will be as you choose it to be. I mentioned earlier that Coach Morris is joining us as our Dean of Student Culture. I'm going to turn it over now to him to show some of the changes around campus this year. Some of these very changes are going to help us in that return to normal. So, Coach, take it away.
Reporting is Coach Morris here. So upon entering school with your mask on, go directly to your advisory meeting room. Please notice the signage and follow the arrows to your advisory meeting room. When you come into your advisory room, please go to your seat, have a seat. Please do not move any desk. At that time, your temperature will be taken. Your lunch order will be taken on a Google Doc. Please make sure you do not move your desk and keep your mask up at all times. If you're in your classroom, you will stay in your desk, not moving desks, until you hear a bell. When the bell sounds, you will be dismissed for your next class. Please go into the hallway, follow the arrows. Before you leave the classroom, you can use some hand sanitizer. I think that's a good practice. And then move to your next class. Also, social distancing, making sure in the hallways we're moving, in the stairwells we are moving, that we're not bunching up in bathrooms or in hallways, keeping your distance. So the biggest thing is you move from one class to the other, that you're actually moving and you're not stationary, you're not bunching up in any areas in our school. Going from one floor to the other, the middle stairway is up one way. The two end stairways are down. During your free periods, you have two options. You can be in the dining hall or here at the library, and you will walk to pick a desk. Once you get to the desk, take your phone, scan the QR code, and then let us know which desk and what time you set there. If you arrive on campus after 8:20, please come into the upper school office, sign in, get your temperature checked. Anytime you leave school, sign out. Anytime you return back to school, sign back in. Anytime you enter the Commons dining hall, please come in the doorway that's closest to the middle stairway. Follow the arrows, walk in a counterclockwise manner all the way around to the other side. For breakfast, a grab-and-go breakfast will be available starting at 7:45. You will grab and go to your advisory, and that's where you'll have your breakfast. You will not eat here in the dining hall. You also can get a snack to go for your break later in the day. Lunch, obviously, will be in your advisory meeting room. It will be brought to you. You will notice that the water fountains do not work. However, we have new water filtration filling stations, if you will, that automatically will fill up your container of water. Please stay hydrated. As a student, if you're sick or have any symptoms or a high fever, you will come to Miss Deb at the clinic, which is right next to Miss Kentland's class. If you're not sick or not ill and you just need to see Miss Deb for other reasons, come to the upper school office. Come right by Mr. Peden and my office, and her office is right here on the right to see her.
What Coach has just shared is vitally important. There are three things we can and must do each day. First, wear a mask that covers your mouth and your nose at the same time. We will wear these masks at all times unless we are actively eating. Remember that Gators or Buffs are only allowed for after-school athletics. Second, socially distance. All of our desks and seating arrangements have been spaced to allow 6 feet between each student and faculty member. It's crucial that we stay distance. This is especially important in the hallways and in the transition times between classes. Do not gather in groups, keep moving, and maintain your distance. As we begin free periods today, it's important that you go to one of the approved seating areas and stay in a desk working without causing a ruckus. And be sure to scan the QR code to make sure we know which desk you are at. Beginning Monday, juniors and seniors will not have to be on campus if you do not have a first or last period class of the day. Seniors who have fulfilled the requirements for their senior privileges will also be able to leave in the second and or third periods of the day if they have a free period. Remember, to do so, you still have to check in and out at the upper school office. This is a privilege. And if it's not done in a safe and healthy manner, not only will those privileges be taken away, but it could cost us all of those things we hope to see by the end of the year. Third, wash your hands. We talked about this in the spring. Wash them frequently and for at least 20 seconds. This year, it is in your hands. It starts with our first line of defense at home. If you are sick, if you have a temperature, if you have symptoms, stay at home. Our health, your health, is our highest priority. Again, it is great to see you back in school today. Together, let's do this. Have a great day and go Raiders.